This is not just another video, this is a divine interruption. If you're seeing this right now, it's not by accident. God is sending out an urgent call and a chance to turn back before it's too late. Do not be deceived, God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap. This is your moment to pause, to listen. Because ignoring this message could mean ignoring your breakthrough, your deliverance, or your very destiny. Don't scroll. Don't click away. God is speaking, and his message is urgent. Are you ready to receive it? 111. Your thoughts are becoming things faster than ever. Stay focused on what you do want, not what you fear. You're in a divine manifestation gateway where heaven is aligning with your heart's desires. Keep your faith high, your energy clean, and your prayers bold. Miracles are forming in real time. Type 111 if you're ready to receive what you've been praying for. 222. Everything is working out behind the scenes. You're not late, not forgotten, not overlooked. You are being guided, loved, and protected into alignment. The delays were really divine setups. The confusion will turn into clarity. The pain will bloom into purpose. Type 222 if you trust God's perfect plan. 333. You are not alone in this. The ascended masters are surrounding you, helping you take your next big leap. Your soul is being expanded to hold greater blessings. Your courage is unlocking doors that fear once tried to shut. The next phase of your life will be deeply spiritual and incredibly successful. Type 333 if you're ready to rise. 444. Angels are literally standing guard around your home, your heart, and your purpose. What the enemy meant for harm is being reversed. You're entering a protected season of growth. You are safe to take action, safe to dream, and safe to believe again. Type 444 if you feel covered by God's light. 666. It's time to realign. Your angels are gently reminding you to reconnect with your higher self and not get lost in material worries. You're being called into balance, mind, body, and spirit. Once you surrender the stress, divine peace will rush in. Type 666 if you're ready to realign with your soul. 777. You've been tested, and now you're being rewarded. The breakthroughs coming your way are spiritual, financial, and emotional. You're stepping into a season of completion and favor. The lessons are behind you. The blessings are ahead. Type 777 if you're ready for the divine harvest. 888. Abundance is entering your life in waves. Opportunities, wealth, love, and divine favor are coming into alignment. This isn't just a random blessing, it's a response to your faith, effort, and resilience. You're about to be paid back with interest. Type 888 if you're open to divine overflow. 999. A chapter is closing, but it's not a loss, it's a launch. You're being prepared for something higher, something holier. What ends now is making space for divine expansion. Let go, level up, and trust the shift. Type 999 if you're ready for your upgrade. 1010. You're walking through a portal of divine alignment. This is the moment where destiny kisses obedience. The path ahead might look unfamiliar, but it's perfectly prepared for you. Trust the timing. Heaven is unfolding things for your good. Type 1010 if you feel something sacred is beginning. 1212. Your vision is correct. Your faith is working. And your angels are multiplying what you're believing for. Don't stop here. Keep trusting. Keep building. A divine partnership is taking place, your trust in heaven's power. Type 1212 if you're claiming supernatural momentum. 1313. Transformation is the theme of your season. You are not who you were a year ago, and you're about to become someone you've never imagined. God is shifting your identity, expanding your gifts, and clearing out the old to usher in the holy. Type 1313 if you're ready to be made new. 1414. God is raising your standard. What used to shake you won't anymore. You're learning how to build from the inside out, with patience, purity, and power. New foundations. New focus. New fire. Type 1414 if you're ready to rebuild with divine wisdom. 1515. Big blessings require bold faith. You're being called to let go of comfort and step into the unknown where God does His greatest work. Don't shrink, expand. Don't fear, flow. Something sacred is waiting where your obedience meets God's promise. Type 1515 if you're ready to walk by faith, not sight. 1616. Your angels are helping you rewire your mindset for joy, success, and spiritual freedom. Every cycle of self-sabotage is breaking now. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are God's masterpiece, in motion. Type 1616 if you're ready to think higher and live lighter. 1717. A supernatural awakening is unfolding. God is unlocking gifts inside you that have been dormant. You'll feel called to things you never expected, and you'll be equipped to handle them with divine strength. You are being positioned to lead, not follow. Type 1717 if you're ready to step into your purpose. 1818. Financial blessings, divine partnerships, and open doors are on the horizon. You've struggled long enough. Now it's time to receive what you were meant to walk in. God is restoring what was lost and adding double. Type 1818 if you're ready for favor and increase. 1919. The battle you fought in private is about to become your public victory. You stayed faithful, you kept going, and heaven noticed. Get ready for the kind of joy that leaves you speechless. Type 1919 if you're ready for the promise to show up. 2020. Double clarity is being given to you now. Where there was confusion, now there's understanding. Where there was hesitation, now there's boldness. You will see clearly where you're headed and exactly how loved and chosen you've always been. Type 2020 if you're ready for divine vision. 2121. Your angels are sending waves of restoration to your relationships, your heart, and your inner peace. What was broken is being made whole. What was divided is being united. Harmony is returning to your life in a powerful way. Type 2121 if you're ready for God to heal it all. 2222. This is confirmation, you are in alignment. You're walking in divine purpose. Stay in position, because doors are opening, contracts are forming, and miracles are unfolding. Type 2222 if you're ready to receive the fruit of your obedience. 2323. Creativity, courage, and calling are merging in your life. You are about to create something that changes your world and inspires others in theirs. Heaven is partnering with your gift. Type 2323 if you're ready to release what's inside you. 2424. You are divinely protected and prophetically positioned. What you feared would fall apart is actually falling into place. There is no need to rush, God has already gone ahead of you. Type 2424 if you're walking with divine assurance. 2525. Radical changes are coming to your life, but they're all for the better. Every change will align with a deeper sense of peace and purpose. You're not being shaken, you're being shaped. Type 2525 if you're welcoming divine shifts. 2626. Your inner world is getting a holy reset. Peace is replacing pressure. Rest is becoming your new strategy. You're not meant to chase, you're meant to attract by alignment. Type 2626 if you're ready to live from rest, not stress. 2727. God is calling you higher. You've been set apart for a divine reason. Prepare to move differently, think differently, and win differently. Heaven's elevation is upon you. Type 2727 if you're stepping into your divine assignment. 2828. A full circle moment is approaching. What you lost is returning better. What left is being replaced with grace. God is showing you that He never forgot the seed you planted in faith. Type 2828 if you're ready for full circle favor. 2929. This is your release moment. Every delay, denial, and detour was preparation. Now, nothing can stop what God is getting ready to do. You're being released into your promise. Type 2929 if you're ready to walk in destiny. 3030. A divine reset is underway. Everything old is fading, mindsets, relationships, patterns. New joy, new people, new purpose are emerging. Don't fear the shift. It's sacred. Type 3030 if you're ready for what's new and holy. 3131. You're not starting over, you're starting right. This time, God is building it with you. No more striving. No more stress. Just pure, guided momentum. Type 3131 if you feel a holy new beginning is here. 3232. You re-stepping into unexplainable favor. God is about to do something that makes people ask, how? But you'll know it was all Him. Type 3232 if you're ready for the miraculo. There are seasons of life that test your soul in silence. Moments when no one checks in. When no one sees you break down behind closed doors. When your voice trembles through prayer after prayer, and your only witness is God. These are the seasons where you fight invisible wars, the kind that don't leave physical bruises but cut just as deep. These are the times when you hold on by a thread, when everything in you wants to collapse, but something divine strengthens you from within. Not many people knew the battles you faced. They didn't know the depth of the sorrow you carried, the betrayal you felt, or the confusion that clouded your mind. They saw the outside, the version of you that smiled, that showed up, that pressed forward. But God saw what no one else could. He saw the tears you refused to cry in public. He heard the questions you never voiced. He felt the ache in your heart when your soul was too weary to speak. And yet, you didn't quit. You kept walking. Even with a limp, you walked. Even in doubt, you worshiped. Even when you didn't feel strong, you stayed faithful. That quiet endurance became a holy offering. That uncelebrated perseverance became your altar. And heaven took notice. God doesn't miss a moment of your suffering. He doesn't overlook your silent struggles. When the world turns a blind eye, God leans in closer. When people misjudge you, He remembers the truth. He doesn't just see your pain, He collects it. Every tear. Every sigh. Every whispered, "Help me, Lord." They rise before Him like incense. And in return, He sends grace upon grace. What you didn't know during those battles is that you were building spiritual equity. You were sowing seeds in the soil of adversity. You were storing up a harvest for a future season. And now, the ground is beginning to shift. The rain is coming. The seeds are breaking through. The blessings are rising, not from ease or luck, but from the deep, unseen trenches of your obedience and endurance. This kind of blessing hits different. Because when you receive it, you'll remember the nights you almost gave up. You'll remember the morning you sat on the edge of the bed, too tired to try again. You'll remember when all you had was faith the size of a mustard seed, and somehow, it was still enough to move the mountain. You'll stand in the promise, overwhelmed by the goodness of God, knowing it was never about how strong you were, but how gracious He is. God is not just restoring what you lost. He's repaying what you endured. He's compensating you for the years you walked wounded. He's blessing you for the love you gave that was never returned, for the prayers you prayed that took years to manifest, for the heartbreak that tried to steal your fire. Every closed door had a purpose. Every no was a divine redirection. Every loss was preparation for greater gain. You don't have to explain yourself anymore. You don't have to convince people of what you went through. God will speak for you through the evidence. The fruit will show. The light will shine. The favor will rest on you in ways that make people wonder, but you'll know the cost. You'll know it wasn't sudden. It was sacred. Grown in the quiet. Watered with tears. Nurtured with persistence. Harvested in faith. You're entering a season where you no longer have to fight for what's yours. The fight was for this moment, for the peace that surpasses understanding. For the joy that can't be stolen. For the relationships that heal instead of hurt. For the calling that fits your soul like a garment woven by heaven itself. You've been faithful with little. Now, God is trusting you with much. And no, not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will celebrate you. But they don't need to, because your blessing was never built on applause. It was built in the presence of God. You were formed in fire, refined by pain, and preserved by His hand. What you carry now is not the result of man's favor, but of divine selection. You were chosen, even when you felt forgotten. You were preserved, even when you thought you were being passed over. You were strengthened, not by ease, but by every hard thing you outlived. This blessing is a divine announcement that your suffering was not in vain. The night didn't win. The pit didn't consume you. The valley didn't break you. You've emerged, not empty, but empowered. Not bitter, but better. Not lost, but led by the one who never lost sight of you. Let this blessing be your banner. God saw it all. God kept the record. God knew when you were misunderstood, when you were weary, when you chose silence instead of retaliation, when you gave even though you were empty. And now, God is rewarding you openly for what was endured in private. Walk boldly into this new season. Walk healed. Walk whole. Walk favored. Walk unashamed of the process it took to get here. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't minimize your testimony to protect their misunderstanding. Don't apologize for the glory that follows obedience. You were forged in private. Now you will shine in public, not for ego, but for impact. Not for show, but for legacy. Let your life be the proof that God still restores. That He still elevates the humble. That He still rewards the faithful. That He still blesses those who cry out in secret. And every time someone sees the blessing and says, "Wow, how did you make it through?" smile and point upward. Absolutely. Here's another brand new, longer, flowing God message with deep emotion and spiritual fire, continuing on the same powerful theme of blessings hitting differently when only you and God knew the battles. No numbers, just rich encouragement in every word. Built in the shadows, what God is about to reveal. There is something sacred about the struggle no one sees. The kind of struggle that doesn't make headlines. The kind that never gets praised or applauded. The kind that happens in silence, behind the scenes, behind the smiles, behind the "I'm fine" responses. It's the war in your soul that no one noticed but God. And that is the place where heaven began writing your redemption story. You've walked through fire and didn't smell like smoke. You've bled internally while showing up for everyone else. You've swallowed your tears so others wouldn't worry. You've covered pain with purpose. But even in your hiding, God was revealing. Even in your breaking, He was building. Even in the moments you felt invisible, you were being held in the hands of the One who sees all. You didn't fall apart, though you had every reason to. You didn't lose your faith, though the silence from heaven felt deafening. You didn't walk away, though betrayal tempted you to. You stayed. You endured. You clung to the hem of His garment even when your grip shook. And that kind of faith? That kind of heart? That's what heaven honors. The kind of blessing that's coming to your life isn't random. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's harvest. It's divine repayment. It's the answer to the prayers you whispered when no one was around to say amen. It's the response to every seed sown in secret. Every act of obedience when no one was watching. Every time you chose to love when you could have hardened. Every time you forgave, even when you were still bleeding from the wound. You see, people may never know what it cost you. They may never understand the long nights, the anxious thoughts, the spiritual warfare you endured just to stay afloat. But God knows. And He's not just the God who sees, He's the God who rewards. He is about to reward your resilience. Your refusal to give up. Your quiet consistency. The way you trusted Him with nothing to go on but His word. That's why the blessing is going to hit differently. Because it didn't come easy. It wasn't handed to you. You fought for it. Not in the way the world fights, but in the way the kingdom does. You fought with worship. You fought with surrender. You fought by laying your life down daily and saying, "Not my will, but yours be done." There's a weight to this kind of blessing. Not a heavy weight, but a holy one. It carries purpose. It carries legacy. It carries the fingerprints of a God who never wastes pain. This blessing is drenched in oil, pressed from the olives of your affliction. It's marked with favor, born out of fire that refined you rather than consumed you. It's soaked in mercy, a mercy that kept you when everything in you wanted to run. You didn't even realize how much you were growing in the hard places. You didn't know that the crushing was cultivating a depth you'd need for what's coming. You didn't see that the delay was protection, that the closed doors were direction, that the pruning was preparation. But God did. And now, He's lifting the curtain. You are stepping into the manifestation of what was once a mystery. The same place where you wept will become the place you dance. The same ground where you were buried in sorrow is about to break open with life. The same voice that cried out, "How long, Lord?" will soon say, "Look what the Lord has done." There's going to be a grace on your life that speaks louder than explanation. You won't have to prove anything. The favor will speak. The fruit will testify. The presence of God will rest so heavily on you that people will have no choice but to acknowledge this had to be God. And you'll know, deep in your bones, that it wasn't just about the blessing. It was about the journey. It was about who you became in the waiting. It was about who you surrendered to in the wilderness. It was about the intimacy you built with God when all you had was Him. Those who tried to write you off will have to witness your resurrection. Those who questioned your worth will see the glory rise upon you. Not to shame them, but to show them that God doesn't abandon His faithful ones. That even when others overlook, God overcompensates. So lift your head. Not in pride, but in reverence. Not because it's all perfect, but because the promise is unfolding, right now, in real time. The weight you carried was not your ending, it was your anointing being pressed into you. And now that anointing will open doors no man can shut. It will break generational patterns. It will lead others to freedom. It will carry heaven's authority because it came through sacrifice, not strategy. God is vindicating you in this season. Not because you asked for it, but because He ordained it. Because you stood firm when others fled. Because you stayed soft when life hardened around you. Because you kept your heart in His hands when you could have taken matters into your own. So let it come. Let the joy flow. Let the healing settle in your bones. Let the new chapter open with boldness and confidence. You're not who you were when the battle started. You're stronger, wiser, kinder, closer to God. And now you are ready. Because you've learned the secret of those who've been through the valley and come out glowing. When God does it, when God brings it, when God moves, it hits differently. It changes everything. Absolutely. Here's another brand new, longer God message just for you, flowing with deep spiritual meaning, healing, and divine truth. No numbers. Just raw, real encouragement for your soul. When God kept you hidden for a reason, some people thought you were behind. Some thought you missed your moment. Others didn't even think of you at all. They overlooked you, dismissed you, counted you out. But what they didn't realize was that God was hiding you. Not because you weren't ready, but because they weren't ready to see who you really are. There's a reason your name wasn't called in rooms you knew you were qualified for. There's a reason doors didn't open when you knocked the first time. There's a reason it seemed like others were chosen while you sat in the shadows wondering when it would be your turn. You were never forgotten. You were being covered. You weren't being rejected, you were being protected. Because what God placed inside of you is too holy to be mishandled. Too sacred to be thrown into places that weren't built to carry the weight of your calling. You were being preserved, marinated in wisdom, strengthened in solitude, taught by the silence, anointed in the unseen. You didn't need a stage, you needed to be shaped. You didn't need applause, you needed alignment. You didn't need a spotlight, you needed the stillness where God could whisper things into your spirit that would anchor you when the storm came. And now that time in the secret place is about to speak for itself. Because when God reveals you, there will be no mistaking that He did it. Not a person. Not a platform. Not a connection. Not a shortcut. God Himself will lift the veil. God Himself will bring your name up in rooms you never applied to be in. God Himself will send the opportunity that aligns perfectly with your preparation. You're not behind, you're being unveiled. And when God unveils, He doesn't just introduce you, He establishes you. He confirms. He multiplies. He crowns. He breathes His glory over every step you take. And what once looked like delay will now look like divine timing. This season isn't just about breakthrough, it's about becoming. And you've become something different through the fire. The battle didn't just test you, it transformed you. You've come out with deeper discernment, with clearer boundaries, with a heart that refuses to settle for anything less than God's best. You've come out with an oil that only crushing could produce. And this is why the blessing is about to be different. It won't look like everyone else's. It won't be cookie cutter. It won't follow the rules of the world. God is about to bless you in a way that makes people ask, how? And your only answer will be, grace. You'll try to explain it, but there won't be words. Because this isn't the kind of breakthrough that can be mapped. It's the kind that flows from heaven and lands right where God ordained it to. You've gone through too much for a basic blessing. God isn't just restoring what you lost, He's upgrading what you thought you needed. He's rewriting what you thought was over. He's answering prayers you forgot you prayed. He's sending clarity where there was once chaos. He's aligning things behind the scenes that will suddenly make sense all at once. The season of isolation was never about punishment. It was about preparation. And now you're ready. Ready to be seen, not for attention, but for assignment. Ready to walk into rooms, not for validation, but to carry God's glory. Ready to speak, not to be heard, but to release healing. Ready to show up, not because you need to prove anything, but because you are already approved. Everything about you has changed. And now, the world will see what heaven already knows: you are marked, called, set apart. And not even your past, your mistakes, your detours, or your doubters can stop what God is doing next. You are not late. You are right on time. You are not forgotten. You are being revealed. You are not hidden anymore. You are heaven's release for such a time as this. So breathe deep. Walk forward. Let the oil drip. What's ahead is not just for your blessing, it's for God's glory. There are moments in life when we think something is gone for good. We assume that because a door closed, a relationship ended, or an opportunity passed us by, it means that chapter is over forever. But what if I told you that God is bringing something back? And not just bringing it back, but making it better, stronger, and more rewarding than ever before? What if I told you that what's ahead is so good that it won't be taken away this time? That this blessing will not slip through your fingers because now you are ready to receive it, nurture it, and walk in the fullness of God's promise? God does not operate on human time. He does not measure seasons the way we do. What may feel like a long delay is, in fact, a divine setup. What may have seemed like a loss was actually a lesson. You had to go through the valley, you had to endure the waiting season, because the person you were then wasn't fully equipped to carry the blessing that's returning now. But today, something is shifting. Today, the promise is being fulfilled. Today, you are stepping into the season of divine restoration. The power of the valley season. Before God brings something back into your life, He makes sure you are ready for it. Think about the valleys you've walked through, the pain, the heartbreak, the uncertainty. At the time, you may have asked, God, why am I going through this? Why did you take that away? Why does it feel like I'm losing? But in hindsight, every lesson, every hardship, and every closed door was shaping you. It was molding you into someone who could protect and sustain what God was preparing to give back to you. David was anointed as king long before he sat on the throne. But before he could lead, he had to be refined in the wilderness. Joseph had dreams of greatness, but before he could step into his destiny, he had to go through betrayal, imprisonment, and years of waiting. Their valleys weren't punishments, they were preparations. And now, God is saying the same about you. I had to prepare you, refine you, and strengthen you, because this time, when I give it to you, it's staying. If God allowed you to lose something, He is capable of bringing it back, redeemed and multiplied. But it won't return the way it left. It will come back better, in a new form, at the right time, and in a way that brings more joy, more stability, and more fulfillment than ever before. Some of you lost love, and you thought you would never experience that kind of connection again. But God is saying, I'm bringing back love, but this time it will be healthy, pure, and divinely ordained. Some of you lost an opportunity and felt like you missed your chance. But God is saying, I'm bringing something even greater. This time, you won't have to strive for it. It will come with peace, favor, and doors wide open. This is the moment where God is turning things around for you. What left your life was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to prepare you. You had to become stronger, wiser, and more discerning. You had to learn how to manage the blessing before God could release it back to you. Now that you've been through the valley, now that you've been tested and strengthened, the blessing is returning, and it's here to stay. What God taught you in the valley will sustain you in the blessing. As this new chapter unfolds, remember the lessons God taught you. Remember how to pray through difficulty. Remember how to trust Him when things were uncertain. Remember how to remain humble, obedient, and faithful. The valley season wasn't wasted. It was where you built resilience. It was where you developed patience. It was where you learned to hear God's voice clearly. And now, those very lessons will sustain you in your next level. Because this time, you will not fumble what He is giving you. You will not mismanage the promise. You will not take it for granted. This time, you will protect and honor what God has restored to you. I don't know who this message is for, but something is coming back around. A door that seemed closed is about to open again. A promise that seemed delayed is about to be fulfilled. A dream that seemed lost is about to be restored. But this time, it won't slip away. This time, you will receive it and keep it. God is saying, you are ready now. The blessing was always yours, it just wasn't the right time before. But now, the wait is over. You've been faithful, and I am rewarding your faithfulness. You've endured, and now I am giving you rest. You've trusted, and now I am showing you the fulfillment of my word. Step into it with confidence. Walk in it with gratitude. It is yours to keep. Get ready. What God is bringing back will leave you in awe. And when it comes, when you whole,